Aleph Bet, the Hebrew alphabet. It seems in the last few decades, something that was so simple, so commonly known as the Hebrew alphabet, the way we pronounce it, we being the Jews of the Middle East, and more specifically Syria, Lebanon, and Egypt. There was a specific way that we pronounced it. It was a very easy way that we pronounced it. We knew the letters, we know the sounds of the letters, but in recent decades, especially with the influence of teachers from other communities or based upon the modern Israeli pronunciation, a lot of that seems to be being attacked. And it's important that we know our pronunciation because it's still the pronunciation that invariably we use in our prayers. And it's something that should be used in all our reading and all our learning, and something that we have to make sure that we continue with it in our prayers as well. So I'm going to review the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the way we pronounce them. So, as we know, these are the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. It's called the Aleph Bet, and we'll go through them one by one. First is Aleph. Aleph, very easy, A sound. Next letter, Bet. Bet, whether it has dagesh or no dagesh, meaning whether it has a dot or no dot in it, that second letter, Bet, is pronounced as a B sound. It's never pronounced as a V, as nowadays it's become common to become with a dot it's a Bet, and without a dot it's a Vet, so it's B and V, but we don't have that tradition. We pronounce it as a B. The third letter is a Gimel. Gimel has two different sounds. With a dot, it's a Gimel, a hard G sound, and without a dot, without a dagesh, it's called a Gimel, so it's a GH sound. Fourth letter is a Dalit. Dalit, whether it has a dagesh or no dagesh, with a dot, without the dot, it's a D sound. Next letter is a He, regular H sound. Sixth letter is a Vav. That's our V sound. Seventh letter, Zayin, Z. The eighth letter is a Het. The Het is a distinct sound that is a guttural sound from the back of the throat. It's not a H sound, and it's not a Ch sound. It's a H sound, Het. The ninth letter is a Tayt. Tayt. It's a different sound than a regular T. It's a much harder T. Later on, we'll have a regular T sound, the last letter of the alphabet called a Tav, and that's a T sound. But right now we're dealing with the ninth letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it's called a Tayt, so it's a T sound. 10th letter is a Yod, Y. Then we have the 11th letter is a Kaf. The Kaf would have a dagesh, it would have a dot, and if the dagesh is removed, if there's no dagesh, it's called a Chaf, and that's your KH sound. So now we had a He, the fifth letter, He sound, H sound, Het, the eighth letter, and now we had the Chaf, which was the 11th letter without a dot, is a Ch sound. Then you have the 12th letter as a Lamid, L sound. Then we have the Mim, it's an M sound. It's a Mim, not a Mem. Then you have the Nun, which is the N sound. Sammach, it's a regular S. Ayin. Ayin is not a Aleph. Aleph is the first letter, and this is the Ayin. So it's two different sounds. Aleph is a plain A sound, and this is a Ayin, a deep guttural A sound. A. Then we have Pe. Pe is the sound of a P that has a dagesh in it, and Fe, the F sound without a dagesh. Now we get to the Saddi. Saddi is a very, very important letter. It's a double S sound coming also again from deep within the mouth. And this is a sound that does not exist in Western languages. It does not exist in European languages. And therefore there's such a confusion because most of those people that came and modernized the Hebrew language today in Israel came from Germany or Russia or Poland, and they brought a sound with them called this sound of tzadi, which is a TS sound or a TZ sound, and that's not something that we ever had. Hebrew is a Semitic language, and therefore it has to have a Semitic sound, and this saddi is that sound. It's a double S sound. We find it in last names like my own last name, Mosseri, it's Mosseri, or Qasin, Qasin, or Kasab, Qassab. You have that S sound, that double S sound is there, and that's a saddi. Then you have a Qaf. The Kof is not a kaf. The kaf, as we mentioned, is the 11th letter with a dot in it, and that's a kaf, but this is a kof. It's a deeper sound. Then you have resh, R. Shin is a SH sound. Sin is a S sound, identical to the samach. And then we have tav, the final letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which with or without a dagesh, that's with or without the dot, it remains a regular plain T sound. So, to review, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Rimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Chaf, Lamed, Mim, Nun, Samach, Ayin, Pe, Fe, Saddi, Qof, Resh, Shin, Sin, Tav.